What draws us together? What pulls us apart? How do we interact not only with each other, but with ourselves? And what happens when your own astrology shows you to be your own worst enemy? Well, welcome, friends. This is Lydia Nitya with Karma Chameleon. Often I like to read the charts of celebrities to better understand our own charts and our own lives. We also cover topics of feng shui and flying stars. So welcome. Today I wanted to unpack a couple that I have been watching with very, bizarre curiosity, because kind of like Kourtney Kardashian and her relationship, I was like, let's look at Megan Fox and her relationship, because these two women are very interesting and their charts are too. In fact, Megan Fox, her chart might surprise you. She has a full penalty in her chart, and she is attracted to somebody else that has a penalty in their chart. Different, and yet in some ways similar. It is amazing to me how we can be the downfall of our own lives, as if we came in with this karmic journey to suffer within ourselves. You take Megan Fox, who grew up in a very strict Catholic upbringing, very restricted, and bullied. And she has often said that she is not somebody that likes to be social. She finds men disgusting. She'd only sleep with somebody if she were in love with them. This is a woman who's got some very strong ethics. She's born May 16th, 1986, and we adjust for daylight savings time, 23:35. Here is her chart. I'm starting to show you guys this lovely information in case you are interested in knowing. So, in this you can see, unlike some of the celebrities we've read here recently, this is not a chart full of great imbalance. In fact, she's born in the year of Yang Fire Tiger, the month of Yin Water Snake, the day of Yang Metal Monkey, and the hour of Yang Earth Rat. She has often said that she is very outspoken and tends to turn people off because she says what she wants. That's kind of like, if you ask me, that's got tiger energy written all over it. And the fact that she has a whole lot of yang elements in her chart speaks to somebody who is very outspoken and aggressive. And being a monkey day, yang metal monkey day, that's yang metal on top of yang metal. That is somebody that is extremely hard. Interesting that her fiance, Machine Gun Kelly, has a name that is Yang Metal, though he is not a Yang Metal person. That really would have been interesting. Almost like Jimmy Buffett from the Parrot Head, right? You remember that chart where he's born in the day of the rooster, kind of like a parrot. But no, didn't happen like this for this chart. Though that really, honestly, I would have found that just too much fun. But she is a monkey and a tiger. Shows the playfulness that we see in her, even though she comes off very cold, which is metal, is cold. But she does have some heat. She's got the snake in there. So monkeys are very sexual. They're very playful. They get bored easily. That's like ADD on steroids, just born that way. Like, give me something to do, give me something else, something else. So she's all over the place. Loves to solve puzzles, likes to, understand and figure things out. Very inquisitive. And the tiger as her year, kind of this overarching flavor of stop and start. I'm all in, I'm done. And I would imagine this is not somebody that is easy to be in a relationship with because she is all over the place. She's not somebody that can be nailed down at all. I would imagine commitment for her is a challenge, truly. So what I don't know if you recognize this, but year of the tiger, month of the snake, day of the monkey, you got it. It's the yin se shen, full punishment or penalty, as you like to put it. And this shows somebody that is going to have chronic health issues, chronic possible legal issues, and a propensity to violence, harm. And in reading about her and kind of half following her over the years, she's an intriguing person. She draws you in and yet pushes you away all at the same time. And that really speaks very much to the tiger. And I have to say, some people really exude more of their year than their day. Some people have a flow between both. Some people are all about the day. This feels like somebody that's leaning more towards their year flavor of that tiger. Very independent. And so, you know, in seeing this, we know that she's had an eating disorder. We know that she has OCD, and she's done a lot of self-harm. It's just sad to hear. There is an interesting thing about her work. And actually, both she and Machine Gun Kelly have a very similar approach, almost identical in their career approach. That is, they are telling a message. They want to teach something. They want to share information. Okay, so how am I sharing my information? What is my platform? Well, right now, Megan Fox just released her book of poetry that really highlights this relationship with Machine Gun Kelly and a miscarriage that she had and the impact that that had on her. So, you know, in her work, whether it's writing, acting, whatever it is that she's doing, she wants to inspire people. She wants to share a message. And she also, like him, brings in this rebellious quality, this, I'm going to do things a different way. I'm going to be a little radical or a lot radical with Machine Gun Kelly. That's a lot radical. I'm going to, and yet within this rebellious kind of flavor, they bring intellect and they bring a sense of intuition. It's not like I'm just rebelling for the sake of rebelling, though I guess you could. But I feel like they're bringing in a knowing. Because really, you know, for me, intuition, when you act upon it, is honoring that sense of self deep inside of you that always knows. I've often said in my yoga teaching, we come into this life knowing everything. We have lived countless lives, and what we are doing is remembering. And I've told my yoga kids for many years, just remember that when you're taking a test. Drop into your breath, just your breath. Look at the question and tell yourself, just remember, you already know all the answers. Just listen. And so when we honor that inner voice, 9 times out of 10, your first answer is always the correct one. Yeah. So she's got this punishment, and she's got very weak wood. That's the only element that's really weak. And it's good that both water and fire are balanced. Her earth is balanced. Her own metal self is balanced. Everything is balanced. We just need more wood. There's a good flow in her chart. This is somebody, you know, when you look at these guys, what do we have here? Yeah. Pause for a sec. These charts are something else. So when we look at the two of them, they both have this love of talking. I would imagine they talk well into the night. They both, again, have this drive to help people. They want to help people, and they're finding their own voice, their own platform for doing that. But in that, they both have this really strong drive to succeed, and they will push themselves until they break. Makes me think of that chart that I did of Madonna recently, when she nearly worked herself to death and wound up in the ICU this summer. Remember that one? Crazy. So they both have that. They also both have this forked tongue, meaning they can be very funny and witty and smart in their conversation, but they can also be wicked mean in what they say to each other. Kind of like when the joke doesn't land as a joke. It lands like an ow. That really hurt. They both are looking also for the same thing in a relationship. Ultimately, the number one thing they want is a partner, an equal, and a friend. Somebody that they share things in common. I would imagine for both of them, one of the things that attracts them to each other is that they both are kind of like very unique individuals that see themselves as separate from the herd of human. And, you know, it's kind of like if you're going to let your freak flag fly, hey, here's mine flying, let's get together and wave our flags. Seriously, kind of like that. And we look at his chart. The other thing I was just going to mention about her is she is an artist. She's extremely creative. She also is a dreamer, a romantic. She's got a sweet side to her. She's destined to make money. But she is like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. I am sovereign in myself. I am my own leader. I will not subordinate to anyone. She is her own person. Good on her for feeling that and being that. Machine Gun Kelly, born April 22nd, 1990, 7:47 in the morning. Both of these people have their time adjusted for daylight savings. So he's born Yang Metal Horse Year, Yang Metal Dragon Month, Yin Fire Snake Day, Yang Wood Dragon Hour. 2 dragons. Like Putin. Not a good thing. And really not a good thing for 2024. His hour mirrors next year. His career is going to be hit hard. Hard next year. Mark my words. Shake up happening. Also, the fact that the dragon is in his month. Not sure about his relationship with his parents, but there's a shake up happening possibly there as well. So he's born horse year, snake day, and myself as a horse person, my dearest friend in life is born in the year of the snake. Snakes and horses get along beautifully. And yet, he has this beautiful pairing of his year and day with two dragons that create a self-punishment. So it's this weird, almost like polarized version of himself where he both fights with himself and is in love with himself all at the same time. And that makes for a very complicated person, which is exactly what we see. And just like Megan, we see somebody who has a platform that really has something to say, really wants to inspire people in some way, and is a rebellion, a radical. The difference in what they are attracted to, aside from being partners and friends, he is looking for someone to share the wealth of life, home, things, all of it, the money, right? And also, he's looking for somebody who is rebellious, somebody radical, right? Interesting. That's an interesting human being. Somebody that is not going with the flow of everybody else. Not a sheep, right? Now, what she is looking for, and this is where it could get a little interesting, is these two she is looking for something deeper. And what she's looking for is a spiritual connection, and also somebody that she can do fun things with. She wants to actively create things and do things together. And that's not a big slide, one way or the other, as long as the overarching attraction is the same. And they could probably work out those differences. But you've got two people who are both penalized in their charts, to the point of, I would say, distraction. It impacts their daily life. It impacts how they govern themselves. When you look at his chart, this is a guy that has to have balance. He needs harmony and everything to be okay. Just tell me everything's okay. Because when life is out of balance, he freaks the frick out. Yeah. This is somebody who finds partnerships really challenging. Makes friends easily, but business partnerships is not something he does easily. He also is somebody that has a tendency to get involved in dead-end projects. Even though he's had an illustrious, very successful music career, this is a guy that's just not a gambler. I would never encourage him to make investments, and I would certainly not send him off to Las Vegas to go gambling. He's not a gambler. So all of these things to be said about this too. Interesting people. The other thing about him that's interesting to note is not only does he have this self-punishment, which is somebody that gets very rigid in their thinking, almost like a dictator. And that presence, she isn't going to put up with. She will not put up with that. He's going to have to learn to lay that sword down with her, because she needs to be given authority in her own life with herself. And as they both have this drive to succeed, like this work ethic. I don't even know if it's a work ethic, just a drive to achieve that can turn into the self-inflicted problem. He also has in his chart that, he's like a guy that loves everything that's beautiful. He loves beauty. He wants to celebrate what's beautiful in this world. He loves to surround himself with beautiful things. He has a great sense of fashion. But all of this good life can lead to trouble. And he's had all kinds of addiction issues. And that's where that stems from. That's in his chart. Horses are passionate and impulsive and very independent. They get along really well with tigers. So they've got that going. The snake is sensual, and that's where you get his sex appeal. But they can also be cold and detached and very intuitive, very sensing. So I just wanted to share this. Such an amazingly unique couple with very cool charts that are fraught with this internal battle within themselves. And maybe together they find that peace, that, again, waving each other's freak flag and saying, aha, let's join our flags together and be freaks together and have fun together. And what is being freaky wild but being your own unique self? And who doesn't want that? Freedom. What is it? There's this great poem that just came to mind. It's like anything and anyone that makes you basically feel small, or that doesn't lift you up, is too small for you. David Whyte, Whyte. That's the poem that I'm thinking of. Anything and anyone that does not bring you alive is too small for you. Love that. Right? It's like, give yourself permission, friends, to be who you are, who you know yourself to be. And often what holds us back is the imprinting from our ancestral cords, from our childhoods, from relationships, from the trauma of schools and all the other places where we can be traumatized. Deep down in you, when you stand alone in an open field with your face to the sun and your arms outstretched, who is that person? What is the flag you fly for you? For you. And know that you are the only one that has the key to open the cage door to that which imprisons you. So I think this is a pretty cool couple. And I think like Travis Barker and Kourtney Kardashian, another really unique couple. And I think it's so fabulous to celebrate uniqueness, because we're all ultimately unique. So yay. Until next time, be well.